Hi guys, I'm just trying to start it on the Rumble thing, but it's not going. What did I do? Anybody know? There we go. I did it. It's going in a second. Gotta get used to this, guys. Like, it's this whole new thing in this world that we live. I think I did it. Excellent. And now we say, welcome to the Ride or Die Show! Woohoo! It is Tuesday for me. I don't know if it's Tuesday for all of y'all. It is super late for our guest. It is like bedtime for him, so sorry, not sorry. But that is how the world works. And it's so cool that it works that way because I love being able to talk to people from all over the world. It makes me so excited. Actually, as I was leaving work, I was like, oh, I am interviewing somebody from like way on the other side of the world. She's like, that's so cool. I'm like, it is so cool. So welcome with us. Oh, wait. If you have not already, hit the like and subscribe button. Go ahead, do that now and all the things, you know? So welcome with us, Greig Watts. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. As you said, it's very late, but I'm raring to go.
Yay! You can have some of my energy. I just finished some caffeine.
It's good. It's great. Yeah, I could do some caffeine, but your energy is good.
But then you won't sleep, so after.
It doesn't affect me.
My kid is the same way, and I'm like, dude, how? But
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? But whilst it lasts, I don't mind. So.
Yeah. So where are you visiting us from?
So at the moment I'm in Elstead in Surrey in the UK. So it's about 45 minutes southwest of London.
Okay. I like that you gave it to me in time because that is how we do things.
Yeah, okay, good.
So I'm in Canada, if you did not know.
Yeah,
And so many people, mostly my American guests, they give it to me in like miles, which
it's just
again,
as mean.
I don't know, but time is how we do. We don't even do kilometers. We do time. No. It takes this long to get to a place because it doesn't matter how far it is. If there's traffic, it's going to take. It's longer. It's farther away.
How far west of London are you?
Super far. Well, actually,
how much time?
Actually, I am only about 2 hours from London, Ontario.
Okay, fair enough.
We have a London here, so actually about 2 hours.
Good.
I did a lot of traveling to London. Almost 10 years ago, because my kid was up there at a treatment facility for a couple months, and we had to go back and forth every weekend for 3 months. So I became very accustomed to our London, which is probably not nearly as exciting as your London, to me, anyways.
Yeah.
But enough about that crazy part of my life. Maybe one day I'll just have an episode and I'll tell you all about it. But today we're going to talk about you. So tell us a little bit about who Greig is.
Greig is I was a songwriter, so I wouldn't say I'm a songwriter now. I have written one song this year, but really I'm a music publisher, an A&R. I mentor songwriters, develop songwriters, and I've written a book recently, so I'm still creative, still doing lots of organising creative things, but really it's developing other people now. It's one of my I love it in a sense. I love doing it. So
that's what you do. But who are you?
Who am I?
Soul.
In my soul, I'm very in my soul. Well, I'm very deep. If you can get underneath the layers, I think sometimes people look and go, is he being thoughtful or is he shy? And having a 16-year-old daughter who I forever looked at her and think, is she being thoughtful or is she being shy? And I say, smile, Emily. And she'll say, I am smiling. I'm just thinking about things. So I think I'm quite deep on that level. And what she does is every now and then she says a gem. And it's like, she was listening. And she was. So I think I'm listening. I'm caring for other people. That's my nature. And actually, which is why I guess I try and develop others. It's more exciting than developing me. So there's something about I don't know, because if I'm successful, that's great. But actually, if I can make someone else be successful, then that's even better. So.
Oh, so I love us. That's you. And you travel a lot. I know that.
Yes. Yes, I've just come back from Barbados, where I organised a songwriting camp. Luckily, I'm clever enough at the moment to have a few days at the beginning on holidays. I've worked out that you run an event, it's good to have 2 or 3 days beforehand. So I do a lot of travelling. Not as much as I did a few years ago, but pick and choose now a bit better. But I love, really, if you could say my three loves, it would be songs, people, and travel.
I like
And
that. Songs and travel I can get behind. People, I don't know. As I talk to people every single week.
Yeah. I mean, it's more the philosophy, the thing behind the person. Because someone will come in and be moaning about another person, and I'll always think, well, what was the issue? What's the thing that's behind them? Which I think comes from growing up in a family of neurodivergents. So
Perfect segue here.
Sorry.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
So I always just like to say, start your story wherever makes most sense. And I am just going to interrupt you.
Okay. Where does it make most sense? I guess growing up in a household of music, first of all, it was just always there. My parents had a record player, they had Beatles records, and then my cousin used to come and visit. He was 10 years older than me, and actually he'd had a family trauma I didn't know about. But I used to know he was this great cousin who brought music, and I loved being with him. And then my parents ran a youth group, and there was music throughout that as well. So it was music songs in my life. And also I had a brother and sister. My brother was older than me, and we were good friends. We hung around together a lot. And as we grew up, he hung around with me a lot. And I used to remember him being teased quite a lot as a child. I didn't really have that as much myself. But I kind of used to stand in the gap for him a lot, and sort of sometimes he'll be being teased, and initially you sort of don't say anything, and then after a while you kind of think, I need to say, stop it, to the bigger boys. And I now know, in a sense, it was because he had Asperger's. So he was different to everyone else. I didn't know at that point. We didn't know until 30 years later, 25 years later, really.
See, this is one of those times I'm going to interrupt you. See, this is what I do. Because I am also neurodivergent. Imagine that. So I love that you say that you didn't know. He was different, but you didn't know. Because I think that is very common. And I've come to realize this is one of my favorite, I don't know if it's favorite, just a really common saying that I have lately is, well, how was I supposed to know? That's just normal for me.
It was.
So there's lots of different things that I have been randomly over the last few years since finding out that I did have autism. I'd say to my husband, so like, this is my biggest one. Because he'll be like, why can't you ever just like chill? And I'm like, because that's not a thing. I'm like, does your brain just be quiet sometimes? He's like, yes, my brain's sometimes quiet. I'm like, I don't know what that would be like, to just be able to just sit and literally just have nothing going on. It's like, I don't understand. So that's one of the things. That's how we started, my husband and I. And then sometimes I'm like, do you just wiggle your toes like constantly all day long? And he's like, no, that is also not normal. I'm like, but it is normal. So it's so interesting that you say that, because the things that we grow up with, we don't consider them out of the realm of what is just life. Right? I hate the word normal. So out of the realm of what is just life. Because that is just what we live in. It is our normal. And who's to say that that's not okay? Psh. So I love that you say that it's just your brother. That's just how he is.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it is very interesting as we get older to find out these kind of little things that we considered quirky, normal, whatever. And other people like, that's a little bit atypical. Huh. All right. Okay.
Have you seen the show Atypical?
I actually really like that show.
Yeah, I watched it, and it was just, I think the person who produced, the lady who was acting in it, I think she also produced it. I'm pretty sure it's coming from her life. She's had a child because it was so
It was
right.
so accurate.
And
yes.
Funny in places, but right funny sort of thing. It's like, right? The experience, so. Right,
and not just like the experience of the main character that has the autism, but like the family experience. Because I watched it before, I'm pretty sure before I had my diagnosis, and I'm watching the mom specifically. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And when they talk about, his violent meltdowns when he was younger, I'm like, oh my gosh. I feel you. Like, this is me on screen as a parent. And I have told people, so my work, my manager's son is into film and stuff, and he's in college right now, and he's writing a script, and his main character has autism, and I recommended that show. I'm like, tell him to watch that show because it is one of the best representations I've ever seen. And a lot of the actors that had autism in the show actually have it in real life, which was kind of cool that they did that too.
Yeah. See, I just see it. I didn't ever see it as different because it didn't. It was normal to me, as you said. And there's an element of I taught my kids. They're unique. Actually, we're a little bit strange, but I like being unique and strange. And that's why would we want to be normal?
Right. It's overrated. I like to say I'm out of the box. I don't like to fit in the box. I like to fit out of the box.
Same here. And actually, with songwriting, last thing you want to do is be the same as everyone else. You actually want to be the one that stands out. Exactly. So I find a lot of, and I'd include myself in this, introvert, extrovert types. Yeah. So you have got some, I can go on stage, I can talk about music for as long as you like. I can talk about football for as long as you like. You ask me to talk about blockchain, I'll go very shy and won't have a clue what to say. But there's, so I'm an introvert expert. And some people I work with are like, you're not an introvert. It's like, you should have gone to school with me. Because I was shy. I was super shy, and within our family we had so we had extreme shyness, but at the same time there was a lot of autism, and I've gone looking around the family going, all it does is explain. It just explains some of the behaviour, and actually once that's fine. You adapt.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about it. So the reason I went and got my diagnosis, because I was already in my 30s, was the one day I came out of my bedroom. So my kid had been diagnosed for 5 or 6 years by that point, something like that. And I come out my bedroom, and I'm just being me, doing my weird stuff, and she looks at me, watching TV, just looks at me and goes, Mom, if I have autism, I got it from you. And just go straight back to watching TV. Like, she didn't just drop a bombshell. No. And I stopped there for a minute, I go, holy crap. Every time somebody would say, your kid's a little quirky, or this is a little strange, I'd be like, why? She's just like me. Why? She's just like me. Like, that was my thing. And then I went, oh, she is just like me, but that means I'm, and it was like this revelation. And like you said, once you understand it, it's more just like, okay, now we understand. Now we know how to work with it. And it's just kind of a understanding more than anything else.
Yeah. And I think it shaped me, in a sense. That's probably why I like developing people, because there's an element of I was helping, and it became my place. Sometimes I get really tired and say, I'm kind of the man in the middle and I don't know what to do. But actually, it's also when I'm not tired, I kind of found that is my role to be. But always the person who can explain this person to that person. I've seen
You're
it.
The translator. That's what my kid would call you. You're the translator.
I've seen it in the songwriting. There's this guy who's a genius and this guy who's a genius, and they're saying the same thing but don't get it. And I'm sort of got to be in the middle to say, he said it just a bit like this, but and then they get it, and then. So often I won't even be involved in writing the song, but I had to sort of, if I wasn't there, it wouldn't have happened because the geniuses need to talk. So.
That's hilarious. I'm just thinking, there's this one coworker, I adore her to bits, but it's so funny because I remember this one instant, she's trying to explain something, and I'm also explaining, and we're actually saying the same thing, but neither of us can understand what the other person's saying. No. So, we had a third party, another coworker, and she's like, you guys are saying the same thing in different ways. We're like, oh. Yeah. But sometimes you need that third person to bridge that misunderstanding of what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, because defences go up, don't they? You start going, but actually the person outside sort of like, well, see, that's not how you're saying it, in a sense. So,
exactly. Yeah. Okay, so you grew up with that, and now you said lots of neurodiversity. Was there other people in your house? Things happening? Your eyeballs. For those who are listening and not watching, his eyeballs went real big.
Didn't know at the time, but I think my dad has been undiagnosed and. He's just been a PE teacher the whole of his life, and he was playing games. He was doing it brilliantly, but there was an element of, you can see it as clear as anything now. It's like, it's so obvious. He'll do things like, he'll go into a shop and he'll do a joke, and the person on the other side doesn't really understand, and he'll carry on with the joke. And first of all, it's funny, and then after a while you're like saying, no, he It's not funny anymore. Stop. So he just doesn't read the other person's signals. But because a lot of autism gets sort of tagged with depression and this and that, but actually he's very happy. He's never been depressed in his life. He's been
lucky.
Yeah, lucky, and he's almost surreal in the sense that he'll go to a funeral and he'll be like, he's positive, and you're like, Dad, you can just say it's bad, this isn't that good, but it's still people. So, but the good thing I watch with him is he's 78. If I would get to 78 and be childlike like he is. Don't get me wrong, he's not a child, but he's fun, and my kids adore him because he's fun, Granddad, and it's like. If I can be like that as well, because it's like a child is. And I think that's where we lose it as adults. Maybe we stop being childlike
we stop enjoying fun. Like I remember saying to my husband, "Oh, this is a million years ago. It feels like now." But anyways, when my kid was 6 or 7, oh my gosh, 6, 7. I have a grandson, all right.
Wow.
So when she was around there, we wanted to get like a big bouncy house for her birthday, which we did, and I'm like. Why do people think that when you get to be old, you don't want fun? Turns out, adults can totally go in these bouncy houses, just not at the same time as little kids because you don't want anybody to get hurt, but only like 3, I think it was like 3 adults at a time. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So before the party started, I went in the bouncy house and it was great because as adults, we like fun.
You have to be careful with your ankles because they're not quite as supple as me.
Yes, be careful.
But yeah, I mean, I remember when my kids were 2, 3, 4, and they started colouring, and they were doing like painting, colouring by numbers, and I was like, oh, I did this why did I stop doing this? This is really relaxing. Because you just get told you're older and you need to take responsibility. It's like, well, no, let's just play. Sometimes,
when I started competing in kickboxing, I brought my coloring book and crayons. I like crayons, but I brought my coloring book to competition because it's very calming.
Yeah.
And everybody started kind of giggling at me, and I'm like, I have extras if you guys want, and then so they started doing it. The following year, adult coloring books became this big phenomenon, and I'm like, I told y'all coloring was great. Like, y'all made fun of me, and now everybody's got this whole adult coloring book thing. It's just coloring, like, it's fun. Yeah. So I was just like, I knew it. I knew it was fun.
You're the one who just did what you wanted rather than worrying about what someone else would say.
Right. It was just so funny that was, like, right the next year that it made this big thing. Okay, so we got your brother, we've got your dad. Anybody else in the house that we need to know about?
In the house, probably not. Not necessarily. I mean, I think it's definitely one of the grandparents was as well. I think it came down that line.
Could be.
At least, and then you remember. But Uncle Johnny, he used to sit under the table all the time and wouldn't come out. That's now you think about it. I wonder if that was something.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Yeah,
a little odd.
So it was a lot in the family. I would say.
Yeah.
But you start seeing it everywhere as well. I think, which is not necessarily true. You just start. But I think I was quite surrounded by it. And what I found is I unconsciously gather other people who are also on the spectrum, and that's a lot to do with the songwriting and creative people.
Yes, creative people, we do tend to have lots of quirkiness.
Yeah, so it's interesting. You suddenly find and think, this person is definitely, I'm working with people and they're definitely on the spectrum. And I didn't, at the beginning of when I worked with them, I didn't think that at all, but now it's like so obvious, and it's like, why did I not? But that's probably one reason we clicked really well.
Yeah.
Because I understood rather than sort of went, oh, that's strange. I just understood. Again, I think I see genius before I see quirkiness.
Oh, okay.
In the sense, so I probably see and I think all neurodivergents have got an element of superpower or genius inside. I think we all have, but there's I think so that if you can get that out, if I can see that, I've worked with some really amazing people, and I think quite a few people would have said no to them. Yeah. Because they would have judged the outside and this. Oh, why is that guy wearing odd shoes? And it doesn't matter to me. I just see this person. Doesn't matter. And actually, I look at it and think, well, that's because he's actually not conforming. He wants to be different,
right?
Or he just is different.
I have a side story. I have a little side quest for us to go on right now, because you said odd shoes. So, last few years I've been buying Hokas. Love Hokas. If you haven't tried them, oh my gosh, they're amazing. They should give me like a little deal so that I can just get free shoes. Anyways, I've got my husband into them now because they are the most comfortable shoe ever. We needed new shoes for the summertime because obviously with the spring coming, we need to freshen up. So I ordered my pair. And my husband, for the past however many years, has to wear odd socks. Like literally for Christmas one year, I bought him 100 pairs of socks so he can have odd socks. That's all he got for Christmas was socks, and I individually wrapped every single one. Anyways, so he's like, okay, I want to buy a pair of shoes. I was in an oddly good mood that day. I don't know how he got me there. I think I went shopping and I got new clothes. But anyways, he's like, I like these ones, but I also really, really like these ones. I can't decide which ones. He bought 2 pairs of shoes. They're the same kind of shoe, the exact same fit, 2 different colors. So now he wears odd shoes on purpose because he is like obsessed. And then he takes the shoelaces from each one and puts them in the other shoe. So it's like this whole thing. So when you said odd shoes, so there is our side quest. My husband is obsessed with his odd shoes. I told him he gets to do it one time by buying 2 pairs of shoes because now he has another pair of shoes. So now all he has to do is buy one and then continue to mix and match them.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a friend in the Netherlands who is slightly quirky, and another friend in the UK who's slightly quirky, and the one in the UK, I remember talking to him about these shoes. He's got a really nice pair of posh shoes, and I sort of knew him for 10 years. I was like, you've always got those shoes. Well, I have 5. When I go to the shops, I get 5 at a go. So he's always got the same shoe, but and then these 2 people met, and one commented on the other, you've got lovely shoes. And he said, yes, well, I always get 5 every time I shop. And it was like, oh, and actually, you think about it, that's really sensible. They're comfortable shoes. Why don't I just buy them? I don't have to buy them again. Whereas everyone else is going, this is kind of a strange thing to do. You think, no, that's a sensible thing to do.
Because what if they change them? So, like, the one year I had a pair of slides. They were, again, Hoka ones. And I was like, oh, I love them. They're great. The next year, I was like, I'll just buy another pair of Hoka slides. Cool. They changed the way they fit. Ooh, they were not the same. They were awful. They did not feel right. And I was like, now I'm so upset because I can't get the ones I love. And I should have just bought like 5 pairs.
Yeah, exactly. So they were right.
They were. When you find something you love, just buy 5 of them at least. Because I was so upset the following year that I could not get the same slides. They were just... They gotta fit right. They gotta feel right. All the quirkiness that is in our world. But that is smart. Buy 5. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. So that's like growing up in a household, which sounds like it really helped you connect with different kinds of people. Because that is one of the biggest hurdles, I think, for neurodivergent, super quirky, whatever you want to call them people, is that they're looked at on this sort of face value level. And unless you can get past that, you don't find the genius underneath, the creativity underneath, which is kind of heartbreaking because we're pretty cool people. And it's really hard to hide after a while. So talk to me a little bit about like the teenage years or adult years and what may have transpired.
So teenage years, I was starting to write my own songs. I started to learn keyboard riffs, and I was never really one for the theory, or I wasn't like taking grades or anything like that. I was learning them and then creating my own. So I was just getting good at keyboards and making my own bands. Then started to write songs as well. And it's always like, well, I was also running my own business at school, selling records plus, and the teachers would be like, you need to get what you're going to do when you're older. And I'd be songwriter and business person, and they were like, well, no, what you're going to do? And I was like, but I am selling records. The only thing about that business was I liked records so much I'd sell the records and then I'd buy new ones for me. It's like a drug dealer. Shouldn't be a drug. Take drugs
don't
as well.
Use your own supply
so
kind of
I
thing.
was too much into records. So I was running my own business, selling records, and also writing songs. And I kind of carried on doing that. I then started to record. That developed. I sort of made my own bands. Got offered a record deal. Didn't take it. Wasn't what I wanted. I sort of realised I was a songwriter, not I can sing, but I'm not the person at the front. And I was doing, and then I had a period where I met my first wife, and we ended up, we got married, And I sort of, whilst I was doing the songwriting, I was obviously got a proper job in a bank, and did that part-time at first, and then after 5 or 6 years I went into full-time, and slowly that overtook the songwriting. I was still doing it, but like once every 2 weeks, and it was like slowly being drained out of me a little bit. And then it got to a period where I decided to go full-time, do the bank properly, but I kind of still had this dream of songwriting. And eventually, after I excelled at the banking, because I realised now I needed to do well at the banking to come and do well in something else, I left, gave myself a year to come out and be a songwriter for a year, and if I hadn't earned any money by the end of it, I'd go back. Month 11, we sort of said we just need a couple more months because I'm nearly there, and on month 12 I got offered a job to set up a publishing department of a record label, which was perfect because I was a songwriter who was selling songs, and they were going to pay me to learn how to sell songs and do publishing. So I fell on my feet, and that was 2003, and I've never been back.
Woo! I love when that works out. It really is such a bummer when we have to take jobs to pay bills, and then the passion of what we actually want to do kind of goes to the sidelines and
you're tired.
Life.
Yeah.
So tired. Oh my goodness. Like there was definitely times when I was like, I'm not writing anything. I am just a no. But it is nice when you can kind of work your schedule around to still have that passion and still do the things that you love to do. Because there was definitely times even, so this show's been on 5 years. So exciting.
Congratulations.
But there, you know, in that 3-year mark, I was like, oh my gosh. I just can't, I don't know. And I kind of had to reevaluate, and I'm like, no, I freaking love this show. Something else has got to give instead. So that was, you know, it was kind of a turning point. And I think everybody has those in life, is you have to figure out that turning point and making it work. Lucky for you, you had that land on your feet, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And now you've been doing that a long time, I know.
23 years now, really. As I set our company up, DWB, in 2006 with my partners then, so we're in our 20th year of that. It's changed a lot since 2006 to now, but we're still doing it, and we're still here. A lot of the people we were with around that time aren't, you know, they've gone into different things, but we made a success of it, and I think as well we learned that actually the developing others is just as important. I mean, the book is, as you know, it talks about enjoying the journey. I've learned along the way, it's not necessarily winning or losing or whatever, it's enjoying the journey along the way as well, because there's so many amazing moments when I've travelled, and I've been lucky to be in Moscow, I've been lucky to be in Barbados or here, and you just think, without this job was, you know, in the bank, I'd be in the bank, and there's nothing wrong with being in the bank, but it's not in Barbados on the beach, or it's not in Moscow in Red Square. So if you like travel and culture, and I love culture change and things like that, so I've been very, very lucky to be able to follow a
Have you ever come visited Canada yet? Uh-oh, what happened? I can't hear you. Was that you or me?
Sorry, I think I might have banged my... sorry, I go where I'm invited. So I haven't been invited to Canada yet.
Well, I'm inviting you to come, but like just for a visit, because I have nothing to do with the music industry.
Okay,
but you can come for a visit. Come on down to Niagara Falls, because I'm near there. Which
I'd love to.
That's where most people want to see.
We have a program in England called Race Around the World, and it had Canada in it. Well, it was like, wow, this is really nice. I'd like to go there. So yeah.
Come for a visit, just not during winter. It's really crappy.
No.
Although you deal with a lot of rain over that way.
I think the UK's more rain. We don't get as much snow, but yeah, rain, lots and lots of rain. So
yeah, come between like April and even mid-November is pretty all right still. Come between then and it'll be fun. But if you ever do, shoot me a text.
I'm sure I will at some
point.
I'll meet you.
Yeah.
So, but you're near Niagara Falls, okay?
I'm about 20 minutes away from there. Yeah, I'm in the Niagara region, and so about 20 minutes from there. So
cool.
I'll hook you up with all the not touristy things.
Yes, that's always the best thing to do.
Right? Totally is.
Not tourist, yeah.
Okay, so as time is ticking on, there's a couple big points that I know that you have some great insight on, because I read the book, but we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
So you did already mention it. It's, life is not about always win or lose. And I mean, no matter what kind, if you have a diagnosis, you don't have a diagnosis, doesn't matter. That's something that people deal with no matter what. So tell me a little tidbit about that life, or I know there's many experiences, but that life experience and what it really means to you.
The winning or losing? Or, sorry,
Just the whole concept of life is not win or lose.
Again, I think we're in a world where it is drained into us that, you need to be successful, you need to win, you need to do this. Which I am a football coach, so as well.
So when you're playing the games...
When I'm playing the games, we do try and win. I think winning is a nice feeling, but there's something about winning. And I'll give you an example. So I do this competition called Eurovision, which is a songwriting competition, and I've never won that, but I've won the finals to get there. And once we won a final, and I turned to the person next to me and realised I don't know this person next to me, and they haven't got a clue that I've just won and who I am. And I'm not sharing this moment with anyone. And actually, that was worse than when I lost with a group of people who I kind of know. So there's an element of it's the journey is the learning process, the actual doing, the living. Whether you lose or win, I think I've found it's the people you're with. If actually you're with the right people and you lose, that can be better than actually winning. Because it's like when, again, let's say I'm in Red Square, I'm in Moscow, I'm with a group of people, and they're all taking photographs of Red Square, and I'm sitting there thinking, just have a look at Red Square, it's amazing. Take one photo and sit down and look at it. Don't take hundreds of photos. It's one of those places, again, probably like Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Just take it in.
Yeah.
Again, I can see they're taking a photo to share it with someone else, to put it on social media. I think people are sometimes sharing so much that it becomes not very interesting.
Yes.
But with people, it's just enjoy the moment that you're in a sense. That would be my thing about winning and losing. There's an element of, yes, it's great to win. I've won lots of things, and I've lost a heck of a lot more things to learn how to win. But that's life.
Yeah. Love that. That is great insight. Okay, so this book. Tell us about this book, which, guys, I have already read. I have already done the review. If you have not read the review, why are you not keeping up with my blog? What the heck?
Exactly.
But it's on the blog, the Substack blog, and the rbwriting.ca blog. You can check it out for yourself. But basically, here's the tidbit of it. It's great. So now tell us a little bit about it.
I guess it's my life story at the beginning, and then it goes into a songwriter's guide, and it keeps telling bits of stories about why, a lot of, again, how I failed. So the idea of keeping the dream alive kind of comes from, one, there's a song title, and two, my granddad told me to reach for the stars and I might catch the moon on the way down. Sometimes I think it's reach for the moon, I might catch stuff. Anyway, one of those, reach high and you might catch something on the way down. And actually, I've had that as my philosophy, and I've kept doing it and kept dreaming. I actually think I'm a bit delusional, and I think a lot of creative people are delusional, but you have to be. And if you have other delusional, let's call them dreamers, that's probably easier. If you have other dreamers around you, you can actually achieve great success, which I have achieved. As a 14-year-old boy, I wanted to be number one in the world. I thought it would be through an American act or a UK act. It would happen to be through Japanese.
Cool.
I wanted my song on in front of the world TV. I thought it would be American or UK act. It happened on Eurovision. So 250 million people watched it. So I've achieved goals, not quite how I imagined them, but mainly because I had a team around me supporting me. I learnt to lose, and then once I lost a few times, I then learnt how to win. Without the losing, I would never have got up again and done it. A lot of my colleagues in the past stopped. We lost, and we lost, so they stopped. I was always lost. Let's get up and go again, and then we won. So the book is basically about that, my life story around music, plus a guide to songwriters. And really, it's called Keeping the Dream Alive, Songwriter's Guide to Overcoming Rejection, Finding Success, and enjoying the journey along the way, which I think that's the important bit. Don't seek success and forget to enjoy the journey. I see so many people out there celebrating. I've done this next, done this next, done this.
Yeah.
Actually, we need to go. Oh, we've just done something great. Let's sort of dwell in that moment. I think I saw your review and you picked up the grieving. I think it's important. Sometimes we need to stop and go, oh, we lost. Oh. Not move on so quickly before we kind of let ourselves grieve. Same with the winning. Let yourself win. Let yourself breathe in. Let yourself take that moment before you're on to the next. Because life is, we're often so on to the next bit, we've just forgotten that we wanted to achieve something and we've achieved it and we've just gone on.
Yeah. And I mean, it's great to set your next goal for sure, but yeah, let's celebrate it a little bit, you know, have a wee little party or something, whatever it happens to be. Have some ice cream, eat the cake. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I do lots of, we do lots of goals and things like that. And it is, you forget, okay, we achieved that. It's just suddenly just on to the next one. No, actually, let's say we achieved that and celebrate it. I actually learnt that. One of my, a guy who came in sort of 5-6 years into our company, and he wanted us to teach him about music and pop music. He was a music theatre writer, and every time we got a release, he was so excited. And he'd go out and get us a surprise. He'd get us a bottle of champagne. And it kind of made you go, we've forgotten that this actually is really important when we've succeeded, you know. So, and he retaught us that. He didn't try and retaught us. He just the way he was. He just did. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we need to appreciate those moments. And as much as the book is for songwriters, like there's obviously lots in there specific to that, I think any creative person could definitely find value in the book, because, I mean, I did. Especially, like you said, there was that bit about grieving that really stood out to me. Because I'm like, oh, I never thought of it that way. But that keep going. And I love that you shared, yeah, this didn't work. I failed. Oh, wait, I failed again. Oh, wait, I failed again. But look, here, I also did succeed. I think that's so important, because sometimes we read these kind of self-help books and it's all, do this and you'll be great, and I did this and I'm great, and great, and it's okay, but like, what about when we stumble? What about when we fall down? You know, all that stuff. We kind of need to know that we can pick ourselves back up. Yeah,
because the truth is, most of the time we will not quite succeed.
Exactly.
So, and as creative people, you know, we're being judged all the time, and I think we think, if we don't succeed, that means we're not very good, which is not true at all. It's actually, we just didn't fit into that thing that they wanted, as well as the one in front of us did. So if we can sort of change the mindset. So I think a lot, because I do football coaching, and because I think there's a lot of mindset and motivation type coaching as well in the book, like you said, and that can really help a lot of any creatives, and the business side, because I think a lot of creatives aren't business minded. And I've kind of got the two strings. I've got the creative plus, how do we make this a business? Because that's important. If I hadn't made it a business, I'd be in the bank.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now, is how to really optimize the business side so I can focus more on it and still pay bills. But
it's not easy.
Tricky. It is not.
No.
It is not the way my brain works, but trying hard, you know? So tell us the title one more time, and where do we buy it?
So it's Keeping the Dream Alive. It's the short title, and then the long title is Keeping the Dream Alive, a songwriter's guide to overcoming rejection, finding success, and enjoying the journey along the way. If you put Keeping the Dream Alive, Greig Watts with an I, then in Amazon, you'll find it. It's in there. So it's paperback, it's Kindle, and there's even an AI audiobook now, which was very fun making. Correcting.
I haven't quite put my toe into that yet, but I have listened to some who have, and it's not too bad.
It was quite good. It was quite hard to make, because they do it all. You press a button and it does it all for you, but then it's got like, can you just check? It's like editing. Editing's always the hardest part of writing a book. And it's, you know, it suddenly wants to pronounce it "ite," and you're like, why is it saying "ite"? So then you have to change it, and you know, it's spelt like that. You spell it how it sounds. So that took a while, but actually, some people will only. I mean, I'm not really a reader. I can read. I mean, I do read biographies, but I prefer to listen. And I think there's a lot. lot of other people like that. So
I really enjoy listening because I can put it on while I'm doing other stuff. Like, my husband does not understand how I can do it, but I like to listen to books while I work out. He's like, how do you do that? Like, you need some pumping music. I'm like, no, I don't.
No.
So, I love me a good audiobook.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Just in the car and things like that, it just helps.
Right,
So
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, my work is only 3 minutes away, so it doesn't help me much anymore. But when I worked further away, I much preferred that. And in podcasts, too.
Yeah.
And where do people follow you?
So I'm on Instagram, Greig Watts, with an I. Facebook mainly, Instagram and Facebook. I have got a TikTok, but I don't do much on there. And I've got my own publishing website. So my company is DWB Music, and the website is dwbmusicgroup.com, and you can find all about us on there. So
excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us at this very late hour for you.
Thank you for having me. It's been good fun.
Thanks. So for everybody who has listened, make sure you, again, hit the like and subscribe if you have not already. If you have any questions, throw them down in the chat down there, because, I mean, we'll look back. We'll decide if we want to have them come back and answer some questions. Who knows? Be sure to share these episodes out, because we talk about some really important stuff, as you know, and the only way that we can spread it is if you guys help and share. I have some exciting news that I wanted to share with everybody. If you have not already seen my post on social, I finished the first draft of the script to turn Goodbye Too Soon into an indie film.
Exciting.
Thanks. I'm going to try and remind everybody that is a thing that is happening at the end of every episode, but let's be real, I'm going to forget. But we need to start talking about it because it's going to be super cool. Probably going to take another year or two before it's actually out there, but step 1 is done. Draft 1. A lot more to go, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out as I go, but I am enjoying the ride, enjoying the journey, figuring out, failing, and coming back up. All goes with what we talked about.
Yeah.
So remember, the only way to end the stigma of mental health is to speak openly and honestly. Bye!
Bye-bye.